I've been doing the Discord now for nearly 16 months. Next week, nearly 60 months. And just over a year ago, I also did a live with Mikey. And what's cool already for me is I can just see how different I look, but not in terms of maybe the things that people might think of, like, I don't know, like being thinner or thicker or any of those things, just how I'm able to even look at the camera straight on. So the other day I'm more solid in myself. And as a result, I'm more solid on the screen. So something where we always speak about is that reality reflects, what we are or what we're showing or what's inside of us. And it's just really cool for me to witness. And this is actually one of the reasons I wanted to jump on a selfish endeavor, was to see, hey, if I go back to the live I did last year, what do I notice? Even something I can see is how my neck is further positioned backwards. If you were to go back to my live last year, I feel like it was really forward and not as I stand with posture, because I'm always thinking about my posture when I take my check-in photos and things, but in day-to-day life and the way that I'm talking, I feel that my head is more on my shoulders. I'm more in my body. It's just really cool. And I think this is something that the Discord and the guide show us all the time. We can be fully engaged in life and whatever we do at any time or all the time. We can choose to be in our body, experiencing life, not just sat in meditation all day. And the more we engage in it, the more energy we get back. It's really cool. Or we could just not notice any of these things if we want to. If you don't want to be aware and you don't want to have, greater consciousness, and you just want to go through life, that's also cool. But it's not necessarily that we have to change our life, which it took me quite a long time to get this concept. It's not like we have to change things externally because our life is not suitable. It's more that in anything we choose to do, we can engage in it and observe it. And if it's something that we don't like, rather than just kind of trying to force things all the time, we can go inside and question that. Why have I got to the place I'm in today? And, what is it that's got me here? What is, why is it that's happened? And it's something that we spoke about before. So a quick backstory for me is that a bit like with Mikey, I've been in the fitness and wellness industry since 2007, but I actually started thinking about dieting when I was about 9 years old, which is wild, I think, but maybe there's lots of people who have got this similar story. I remember going on a holiday with friends when I was small and thinking I was just really chubby and always wanting to I would skip, or I would overthink having a chocolate croissant with my friends, which I think most 9-year-olds may just do. And I would think about having yogurt and a nectarine or just little things like this. And the dieting continued. I had eating disorders into my teens, bouts of anorexia, depression, and I was a bit of a perfectionist with lots of things. And you can see how this starts to lend itself into then wanting to be a personal trainer. I PT'd, worked in fitness from 2007. I'm still working there in the present day. I did bodybuilding competitions for 10 years on off. And I really dedicated to, fitness, dieting, helping people with losing weight, all those kind of things, But if you see my story, it makes sense. If you step back and you think about it, from age of 9, feeling the way I did, to bodybuilding and competing into my 20s and early 30s, I never stopped to think what the underlying thing was that was driving me. And knowing that there are many things that are supplanted in us from small age, or that we don't question, that maybe we're told by other people, for whatever reason we start to think of from social norms, that actually end up driving our life continuously. And the thing that the guide in the Discord has really helped me do, along with millions of other things, because it's never just one thing, is that I'm able now to kind of, when I do an action and or I feel a feeling, or I'm not sure about something, is to go in and find out, where did that come from? And do I really want to believe that? Or do I want to adjust that, change that, think a new thought? And as a result of changing that foundation and changing that thought, or at least acknowledging where it comes from, then I no longer have to continue that path unless I want to.
That's very beautiful, very powerful.
I think it's so cool.
And that's really what it's about. It's not about trying to lose weight or this or that. It's about knowing yourself. Why did you even do the destructive things in the first place? Why do you want to fast? Why do you want to lose weight? Like, because if the norm was like, overweight girls are in, or something like that, then the women wouldn't want to be skinny or toned. They'd want to be overweight. Like, there was a woman 200 years ago. She was some royalty, like aristocratic woman, and she was she was definitely our standard today of not the most attractive woman, but guys would just swoo over her and be so attracted to this woman that if she rejected them, some of the guys would take their life. But you see this woman, and she was not very attractive by our standards. So like the what we consider to be attractive or whatever changes through trends in society and everything else. So it's really like, why do we want to be that? Well, because someone told us, because we took it on, because we saw it, and because we saw it, now we've been manipulated or programmed. Even manipulation itself isn't necessarily bad, but we have taken it in, and that has convinced and influenced us, and that drives our actions. It's okay if it drives your actions, okay, but you at least need to know about it. If you don't know about it, then you are completely blind to why things happen in your life. So the whole thing of the guide is to come into awareness of why things even happen, because now you get to choose what happens. And when you choose what happens, you have power. When you have power, now you can navigate through your life, and you can create whatever you want to create, because you're no longer giving energy to things that you were unaware of. You get all your energy back, you get all this source back, and you're able to start shaping reality in a more pleasant and desirable way. So that's very
Yeah, it's
more
super.
so on what the guide is versus fasting and losing weight. Although you're going to lose weight whenever you don't have unnecessary thoughts in the back of your head. You're going to gain the right figure and muscle mass when you don't have these energy stealers in the back of your head, like these
Yeah.
programs running. And you're going to become more symmetrical. You're going to be able to keep your vibrance in a sense, and your youth and everything else. So whenever you move in this specific way, you're able to be sustained and pristine in life and not let it wear and tear you. And you get to have a more enjoyable life. That's what the life guide's about. It's not about weight. It's about living life.
Yeah. And I love that, because it's so much about it is also engaging in life and not thinking things are necessarily good or bad. I think this was also such like a turning point for me. Was I think when I first started, and like I was super excited, like jumping 2 feet in, I really like did everything like in the guide, like fully everything. And something you talk about, which I think is really cool, is whatever you add from the guide or whatever you start to apply, do it at a sustainable rate that you can maintain. Like it's meant to be sustained for a long, long, long time. Some of the things for the rest of your life. And if you jump too fast into it and you're not able to sustain, there's nothing worse than having that consciousness and awareness and things opening up for you, and then you take a step back because you know the higher, like there's a higher way that you're not able to sustain. And part of this actually also links into, I know I've had people maybe ask, can they do the guide? Can they do Discord if they're, for example, vegan, or they're this. And the guide is for everyone if you want it to be. But yes, the food, it isn't promoted as vegan food, for example. Does it mean that you can't do some of the other methods? Like we all sleep, we all breathe, we all like do all these other things, of course. And you may find that you never get onto the food element, which is actually the last part of the guide on purpose, because it's important, but it's not the thing. So you can start layering things in, like it's a lifelong plan, and you're going to get benefits from the things that you want to apply from the beginning, which is more important, like the self-love, self-preservation things at the beginning, philosophy side of things, and the food is at the end. So of course you can still join it with the veganism. But one thing I wanted to go back to is that when I first started, because I was so excited about it and I saw the ways, and like it, honestly, it was incredible for me, because I was like not really able to get out of bed. I had crazy amounts of anxiety, depression. I pretty much had lost the majority of my clients because I was just canceling them like week on, week out. And the only thing I was giving energy to was bodybuilding and dieting, because I felt that was the only thing that I was getting life from, in terms of like I was putting all that little bit of energy I had into that, and it was actually draining me more. And it was kind of a trap, because it made me feel like I was focusing on a purpose, but that purpose itself was taking energy from me, rather than focusing on myself and on life itself, and as a result getting energy back. Since then though, I did actually go back to now supporting clients again. And this was a really like 360 moment, because I think when I first started, because of all the new information, I felt that I didn't want to continue down the path of health and fitness at all. And something you spoke about was like, nothing is good or bad. And it's about like engaging in reality right now, observing it, taking things in, and then sure, you can adjust things over time through like going in and finding out the route while you're doing it. But we can engage in anything, whether you are working in McDonald's, you're like a bin man, like you're a waitress at a 5-star restaurant, like you like you fly helicopters, whatever it is. And now I find as a personal trainer, I still can train clients in a slightly different way. I can still do massage therapy. I can still do alignment work, because I know that there is not only one way. It's not like a right or a wrong way. It's just the way that I choose to go, which is through the guide and things like that, and the way that other clients want to engage with themselves, which is this way, this way, this way. And I don't have to say like shun things away. I don't have to create more division. I can just engage in what I'm doing at the time and engage in life. And I think that's so cool that we can still live in life. It's not like you have to go to a mountain and sit on the top of a mountain and meditate and be away from people. In fact, the Living Guide and the Discord probably has been the first thing where I've able to feel mentally and physically better in myself, but have more time and energy for my family.
Heck yeah.
And I think that for me is so big. I know it's family's massive for Mikey with Sasha, Lay, and everyone else he's with. But for me to be able to spend more and more time with my loved ones, to go on spontaneous holidays with them, to just be in their presence, they're the ones I want to spend my life with. So now I can do that and not let go of my body, or not let go of like other visions of wanting to feel better in myself or those things. It's not like an either or. It's do these things. It works. We see it through Mikey, through like Patrick, through Kiara, Tone, so many people in the Discord community. It works, but we don't have to do it alone. The struggle is not alone, and we can fully engage in all the other things we want to in life. It's honestly, it's incredible.
Heck yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm with you on the whole family thing, because it's a lot of things that are being promoted today are isolation. Oh, be independent, be a bad bitch, and like go get your bag, be a boss, f people, stuff like that. But like that is literally the mindset that divides and creates weakness. Like so, together we rise, but divided we fall. So like if you really look at the underlying scope or the intention of these message, it's all about individualism, not being connected to community, not valuing other people, and being more so about valuing objects over living souls and humans. And this is why people are willing to, oh my gosh, cut down nature and like trees and pollute specific things. Or like when a new like toy comes out, or this new thing like a new watch. There was a new watch, I think, by one of the watch companies. All around the world, people would trample on each other just to go and get that new watch, or like the new Labubu or whatever came out. People would just push and hurt, like physically hurt people for a piece of plastic, because now we made these things our god, is we worship. So like people need to know the extremity of this is like whatever you focus on is what you worship. Like you're going to worship no matter what. Like you don't need a god or religion to worship. If that's your focus, you're worshiping that thing. So if it's money, if it's an object, if it's comfort or whatever, you're worshiping. If it's family, and there's nothing wrong with worship, but like if these people coming to the point of this individualism, their mind will be contorted and misconstrued, and it will make them perverted in the way that they see reality in life. And then they'll live in atrophy. They'll live in death. And then they wonder, why am I sick? Why am I bipolar? Why do I have diabetes? Why do I have cancer? Why do I have all these things? And like people want to lose 5 pounds, but it's like, it's not the 5 pounds they want to lose. They only have the 5 pounds because their scope is twisted on how they see reality. Because when you live in the harmonic state of reality, there's no 5 pounds to lose. I couldn't lose another 5 pounds. I couldn't gain more muscles. I'm just here in the perfect state. So when we see the world right and the reality and the realm that we're in, we're able to occupy that space in a sense correctly. There's no right or wrong, but like in a more effective, optimized way to where everything is awesome. Our finances, our relationships, our family, and everything. So now we're surrounded by peace. And then at that point, we're literally living and creating heaven on earth. And that's what it's about. Like, we're not waiting to go to heaven. We're ambassadors for heaven right now. We should be creating it right now. Everywhere we go, people should be smiling around us. Everywhere we go, the flowers should bloom, the birds should sing, the people around us should be encouraged. Not that, oh, they're NPCs and they don't get it and they're energy vampires. Almost that's the talk of weak people. Weak people blame and label and point like, oh, they're just energy vampires, they're NPCs, they're zombies, they're dumb, they don't know. That's just the person who's so insecure that they don't have an effect on people. But whenever you have this harmonic state and you embody it, you have so much life radiating from you that these energy vampires stop sucking energy from people. They come alive. These NPCs stop being zombies and they become living people because you were the inspiration to live. So instead of blaming people, which does nothing, instead you be the ambassador. You take on that role, and just as the essence that you live, the whole world comes alive around you. If the world isn't a better place, then make it one. Quit complaining about it. Quit watching stuff. Quit scrolling on stuff. Quit typing comments, and go out there and be in the energy that creates massive change. It's something that you embody, not that you talk about. So with all that being stated, people will go to their grave and never know what this actually is. They'll go to their grave complaining when they were supposed to be the catalyst. They'll go to their grave pointing and accusing when they were supposed to be the ones to fix that by being the example. So that's what we're here to do. We're here to be the example. We're here to emit this energy, and we're here to be life itself. And it's definitely not about 5 pounds fasting or diet.